Dear Emily Apple, the Canary Investigations editor, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So let's start with the UN and the international conventions. As you know, UN member states signed the Genoa Convention to prohibit the use of chemical weapons and to consider them as a war crime. However, why does the United Nations remain silent about the chemical weapons used against the Kurds, despite the claims and the evidences on this issue?
Well, the international silence on what's happening is utterly disgusting. Um, and I think really a lot goes to the power of the Turkish state. Turkey is a NATO member, and there's there's always been a reluctance to upset the Turkish state. There's a lot of financial interest. I mean, certainly if you look at the UK in terms of weapons deals, in terms of the support post Brexit that Boris Johnson wants to give to Erdogan, there is a lack of international will to take the necessary action to condemn what is happening and actually take action to put the Turkish state on trial for the chemical weapons attacks.
Thank you. IPPNW and OPCW, as you know, they are related and they are institutions of the UN. Do you think there can or should be independent observers sent to Kurdish region or samples from the region sent elsewhere for analysis in laboratories? What is your suggestion about that?
Absolutely. International observers and evidence gatherers should be sent as a matter of priority. We know that these war crimes are taking place, and we've seen the evidence that's been already been collated on what's happening. And it's outrageous that official delegations from these bodies aren't going and collecting the evidence they need to bring war crimes cases against the Turkish state, and that absolutely needs to be done as a matter of urgency.
In front of the whole world, you have witnessed as well the Turkish state both carried chemical weapons to the ISIS gangs in Rojava and used these weapons in their attempt to invade northern Syria as well. What action can be taken against the Turkish state in the international arena?
In terms of the international arena, there should be an immediate ban of weapon sales to Turkey. I mean, that should have happened years ago. Um, there should be sanctions against Turkey. And there just needs to be that international will to take legal action as well. And it's incredibly disturbing that yet again we're seeing the atrocities of the Turkish state and the international community is remaining silent. And it is utterly shameful that this is happening, and this has to change.
Kurdish fighters shared images of Turkish written ammonium nitrate containing bombs and photos showing wounds on the bodies of various fighters and bodies of civilians as well. Isn't the use of ammonium nitrate and white phosphorus illegal? Isn't it a war crime?
It definitely is a war crime. It is illegal, and it is, as I said, outrageous that no action is being taken. The evidence is already there. I mean, you can read the reports, you can see the evidence that's already been collated about what is happening, and there's no excuses for the lack of action that the international community are taking on this issue. And it is really, really urgent that the awareness and the pressure is put on these international institutions to start taking actions, because I don't think there's a lot of awareness, even in the sort of general populations of international communities, that this is happening. So I think it's down to all of us to put pressure on these bodies to start taking the action needed.
Lastly, as you know, the international forces you remember entered in Iraq 2003 under the pretext of chemical weapons. Why don't the same international powers even take a step against the Turkish state use of chemical weapons today?
Because I don't believe that the will to act on chemical weapons was genuine. I think it becomes a convenient excuse for international countries to take down regimes that they don't like, but then they'll ignore the same issues when it's a regime that they support. And we need to get rid of this level of hypocrisy in terms of international relations and the international actions that we take. These things are illegal, so we need those same standards to be applied across the board, no matter what government is doing it and where those economic interests lie.
Dear Emily Apple, the Canary Investigations editor, thanks for joining us. Thank you for your valuable comments today.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure, as ever.
Thank you.